Well, I think the rain has been kind to us in the last 24 hours. We managed to get a meeting in at Turffontein, albeit it was slight adjustments. But on Saturday, should be back on the stand-side track, and we certainly look forward to a very competitive 10-race program. And talking about 10 races later on in the show as we record for the weekend on a Friday morning. We should be talking about a 10-race program coming through from KZN. It is Hollywood Bets Durban, Hollywood Bets Greyville rather, in the heart of Durban. But let's get straight into our bipod segment of this morning's preview for Turffontein. And it is a great pleasure to welcome Mr. Marie. Mr. Marie, we've lost six Singleton Sam in race number 2. And that leaves us with a field of 7 mostly raced. But first of all, welcome, and must say, very well played last week. I think your good form from Saturday with your insure bet that was backed into favoritism and won with more ease than it looks. I think won by about a half a length. And then on Sunday, in the first leg of the exacta, you brassed the top two in the betting. In fact, you brassed the favorite. You went for the One World and Military Command, who won with certainly authority.
Yeah, thanks, Sis. Let's hope the good form continues.
But let me just bring you back down to earth. You're as good as your last meeting.
Yeah. East Sweden show lost with Take Your Place. Betway and Sure Bet, we got our stake back. She ran third. Opening leg of the bar pots. Thank you very much to Matthew de Kock. In this comment is courtesy of Betway. Esteemed shows us ability. We haven't been able to give him an ideal preparation due to all the rain. He'll go into the race with some raw talent and not much experience. If he gets beat, it will be due to greenness. And he's now a half brother to Ivy League, who actually won 3 out of her first 6 outings. So seems like he's fancied on debut. He's nominated and accepted to run in the nursery next weekend. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised if he makes a winning debut. Backed him up with number 1, Blizzard Quest. I think he came out slowly on debut and was never in it. I expect him to come on in leaps and bounds with that run under the belt. And he could have switched on with that. There was a horse that finished, I think, 7 odd lengths behind him on debut that subsequently came out and ran second. So I think he's got a lot of scope for improvement, and I expect him to be up on the pace this time around. So I'm fairly convinced we're going to get through the opening leg.
3 and 1.
Correct.
Okay, that is the selections for our bipod, and certainly most inexpensive. We get to the tricky leg. That'll be race number 6. That's leg 5, where we've got numbers 1, 3, 4, 6, and 8. We'll tackle that when we do get to that part of the world. That's your bipod outlay, 160 Rand. All right, we move on to the place accumulator play, soccer 6, 10, and 13 maiden play. They will be going over the minimum trip of 1,000 meters in a race number 3, and we're looking at the top 3 in numerical order, being the ones who dominate the betting, and likely in the colors of World Sports Betting, the One Elysian Bow will be the favorite. Last seen from that form line, the Hong Kong form line that has given us so many winners, the likes of Roaming Spirit. And I think Gerber has come out of that form line. If my colleague on my right is with me, I'm sure he will correct me if I'm out of order. Then you've got Hemisphere, who's always been highly regarded by the stable. She's in the race. Another person, Getrix, and then a Canfield Cliffs to round off the top 3, and that is Old Fashioned in the colours of the Hollywood. Clint Bender trains. Now, as far as the first leg of the PA, Mr. Mary, I know you went 2 horses in the bipod.
I did go 2 horses in the PA. How's this now? We previewing this race, sponsored by Betway, and 2 of the leading lights are owned by WSB and Hollywood Racing.
Well, that's what is it? That's the landscape these days.
Yeah, the 3 giants.
I remember a race where it was a trainer sponsored by a certain bookmaker. It was a race sponsored by a certain bookmaker, and I think the jockey was sponsored by yet another bookmaker.
Yeah. I just want to thank Devon Heffer. Whenever I contact him, he's what a true gentleman. He goes out of his way to sorts out any issues. Yeah, a comment on behalf of Old Fashioned on their website. He has a winning chance. Now, Cecil, he obviously brings racing fitness into this race. He's much better with the blinkers. I think he's got a strong chance. Last time out, the two on the outside pulled well clear of the balance of the field on the inside. I think that edge of racing fitness is going to certainly lean in his favor. Now, Elysium Bow and Hemisphere have bumped in the past. Obviously, Elysium Bow was making his debut, whereas Hemisphere was returning from a layoff and gelding. Hemisphere was up there until the latter stages. His run just emptied out. He comes back to 1,000 meters. However, he's off the track for another 5 odd months. And prior to his comeback, he was off for another 7 months.
No,
So-
as I say, the horse from the general sort of corridor talk, if you like, is the horse has got ability.
Yeah.
And once everything falls into place, this is the horse to keep on the right side of.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a winning return, but it seems as if they still need to get over his issues. Elysium Bow, I think, is going to enjoy coming back to 1,000 meters in his penultimate start. The third horse has won indirectly, and the fourth has won twice since then. I think he'll race well fresh. However, I am going 3 from 1 in that order.
3 from 1 Old Fashioned from Elysian Bow in race number 3, and they are the two numbers that make up that first leg of the PA. Right, again, it is in this case for the PA purposes, leg number 4, that will be the tricky one. Looking forward to that race and getting to the bottom of Mr. Marie's dilemma there. But 240 Rand, that's the outlay to the PA, starting with race 3 at 1 o'clock. 13:35 is the deadline to your pick sixes on Saturday. We're racing on the stand side track on this long weekend. And if there was ever a chance to banker, it is certainly in the first leg. Yes, it is a nervy time. First and last legs are very nervy to banker. But Dylan's Champ surely should get it right at the 9th time of asking. Was price short and had to be scratched later. That is Dylan's Champ, but this time out again, price short at 9 to 10 on Betway. Second favorite is dropping in trip, Obsidian, Smanga teaming up with Johan Janssen van Vuren, and that is currently at around 28 to 10. Sordage Sweep, the filly at the bottom of the weights there, is at 33 to 10, and after that you're getting double figures, or at least 9 to 1 and better bar those. Dylan's Champ last seen running behind Immediate Edge, and of course Immediate Edge next time out went out and won the Derby trial, and coming out of that form line as well was a horse that was an insure bet selection for the Derby trial, but unfortunately scratched before the Derby trial, and that is Count Hutuku. That was from the stable of the Crawfords. Talk about the Crawfords, they've got a first-timer, Canford Club. Right, Mr. Marie, I've done my bit as far as introducing the race. Leave it to you, sir.
Yes, you touched on that Immediate Edge form line. I mean, he's favourite for the Derby. Also in that race was Patchy Chief. He's come out and won indirectly. He finished second in that race. And Spa Story, who finished fourth, has also won. There's absolutely no doubt that he's got the strongest form coming into this race. Excuse me, says. The concern has to be that he was scratched at the start last time out. I mean, it was a bloodbath for all exotics. He was deep in the red. PA went missing. Pick sixes went missing. For Fabian to have stepped him out again fairly soon indicates that Fabian's happy with the horse and he really has ironed out any issues. I don't think there should really be any negatives. He's going to be coming to the track in good order. Otherwise, Fabian wouldn't have nominated him. So he is the selection. However, in the back of my mind, it is a concern what happened last time out. Obsidian's my backup. I don't really like the look of the filly, Sadie Sweep, who gets her 6 allowance. She got beaten by Tipperary last time out.
And Tipperary didn't really do us do the connections proud the last time.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that form is strong enough to warrant respect here. So Obsidian is my backup. You know, from day one, Johan Janssen van Vuren, when interviewed for Track Talk, has always held this horse in high regard. I don't know where he is in his preparation. He's been off the track for 3.5 months. But he's got a neat draw. And I think the fact that Johan has always said this horse will get better with racing and has got a bright future in this lineup, I'll be very shocked if he doesn't contest the finish. So yes, 1 from 2 in that order.
1 from 2. Will the full sibling to what is a 15-time winner, is it? William Robertson finally get it right at the 9th time of asking. Dylan's champ, Andy Fortune, gets the ride, and that is in the first leg of the Pick 6 race number 4. We're on to the first leg of the first jackpot race number 5. We're still in maiden company, and this again is quite tight at the top, but a clear favourite in the form of the Stu Pettigrew trained number 4 Cape Saffron. Quite an ownership there. Her Serene Highness Princess Sharon de Monaco Grimaldi, as well as the Turffontein nominee. That is Mrs. Jessica Gell. That is at 16 to 10. 28 to 10 is number 3 Art Nouveau, number 1 Summer Winter. 5 to 1, it is 6 to 1 and a better bar. In fact, 11 to 2 and better bar those. Mr. Marie, race number 5 now. We saw wearing of the green, doing best work late, was slow away, as is the case now in those 3 outings, whereas 4 Cape Saffron was up there with the pace, but Pumpkin Pie was always going to win the race. It certainly came in with the right profile.
He looks like a very, very nice horse, Pumpkin Pie. Cape Saffron, follow stables that have struck form. Mr. Pettigrew, his strike rate's always been top notch.
Yeah.
And he's been having his winners Mercantor Night Vigil, but he had a double out at Turffontein on Thursday. He's had a lot of seconds, and now the stable has hit fine form once again. So I love the look of her chances. I've always stated the fact that I think she will go further in time to come. But last time out, I think from that neat draw, it forced her to be closer to the pace than ideal. And she challenged a long way from home. From a stallgate number 6, Jeff says there's a quiet rider. He's going to give her a chance. And I think he'll get there in time to come. He's got more chance of timing his run this time around. So I think she is the one to beat. However, Art Nouveau, now have a look at those silks. They have been extremely lucky when
relocating.
When purchasing horses in training. This isn't one from the Western Cape, it's from KZN. Last time she wasn't disgraced when running against Open Company, and she's been knocking at the door for a win. We know what Tony Peets is capable of doing with horses who join his yard. So I will certainly not be surprised to see her contest the finish. In order, I'm going 4-3.
4-3, that is Mr. Marie's selections for race number 5 in that first jackpot. Off time, 10 past 2. We're into a merit-weighted at 76 handicap for race number 6. And again, this is part of that first jackpot. The second jackpot only starts in race number 7. So you can still take a bit of time on your jackpot selections, races 7 to 10. But the favorite, and it certainly has been in very, 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 very fine form since relocating to the Grand Maroon stable from the Western Cape, where it was based with Pete Potter. And that is just VAR. Andy Fortune gets the ride. Winner last time out, a fluent winner. And expected to go close once again. Sigrid Swing in the colours of Mr. Poe. And it is Heinrich van der Verstegen and Kabila Matsinyana teaming up once again after a decent third behind Juniper Green. That's also up there in the betting at 33 to 10. It's 4 to 1 and better bar those. Tricky little race. There's a light Ryan Munger for the Roy Magnus stable. Sovereign's Call, you were talking about the colours of Mr. Ackerman that used to be with the Pettigrew stable, now with the Taizaki stable. That last 2 runs not the best, but I'm sure is much, much better than that.
I can't fancy him on his last start, so I liked him. But sure, beating 24 odd lengths.
Yeah.
Now, you can see my perms I included Future, but that's a recent scratching. So I'm probably going to end up on number 1 Just For as a potential to double up in exotics. You know, last time out with Ryan Munger, I watched that replay and he was actually forced very hard in the early stages to overcome the draw. And I thought it was going to take its toll. Despite that, he found more So I believe he's really in a good space. I don't know what the relationship is between jockey and owner.
Age fortune.
Yeah, I don't know, but he's riding for family, so I'm sure he's gonna give it a full go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Okay.
finished third in that race. He's after hours.
Yes,
He's
so it's
come
come
out
out
and
won
won twice since
twice
then. Yes.
and placed third, I think, in
Yeah.
between the two wins.
So he's not a banker, but like I said, now we got a opportunity to double up with him. The jockey arrangements I find very interesting over here is Ryan Munger booted Tokyo Medaglia to victory last time out. And I don't know if he got the choice of rides. I doubt it. But he is now on There's a Light. And Gavin has taken the ride on Tokyo Medaglia. Now,
I would say Gav would have
yes.
first choice.
Yeah, so I think Gavin's got the choice of rides and he's opted for number 6 over here. Last time out we did the preview and Casey told us this horse has had a throat operation and he's much better than his recent form. And he proved that on the track last time out. I know it wasn't a strong field, but the way he finished his race off, I'm of the opinion that he won with a bit in hand. So don't be surprised to see him build on that effort. Then you got There's a Light off a very, very competitive mark now. So he goes in. And also Call Me Master. He tends to give away starts at the gates, but with a longer run in, he'll have time to build up. So Samanga will get stuck in, of that there's no doubt. So he's also included in my play.
Okay, so the pick 3, now you can substitute the 4 for any other horse you would so wish to do. 1, 3, 6, and 8 are definitely in the race. What did you suggest as a pick 3 contender? Or do you want to double up again?
No, I'm happy with it.
Thank you so much. By 1, 8, by 4, 7, and 9, and that's an outlay of 30 Rand. All right, so we move on to race number 7, and what a way to start the second and final jackpot of the afternoon. It's a graduation plate, but the names that are in this field, only 8 of them, but I'm sure we're going to hear lots more of them, not only this season, but God willing, in seasons to come. Now, as far as favoritism is concerned, it is the top weight who has been contesting at the Triple Crown, and that is Aristotle, who is at 16 to 10. It is 22 to 10 about the 8, and that is a filly Too Late My Mate. And of course, looking at the rest, Royal Force back to winning ways last time out, that is at around 9 to 2. It's Kaminsky also at 9 to 2. Mr. Marie, the floor is yours because it is just the 8 runners, but I think it is a race that I'm sure you want to give us your the full benefit of your wisdom here.
Yeah, I'm going with the handicappers. They've indicated that it's a tools race on ratings. Aristotle is a net 107 and Too Late My Mate 106. So there's only half a pound, a 1 pound or half a kilogram in it. I know both of them picked up hefty penalties, but I'm happy that they dominate this event. Royal Force is a lovely sort. If you like him, you have to respect Kaminsky. They're both going to win their races, but on ratings, they have to step up quite a bit over here. I find it very strange that Striker's not on Royal Force. I mean, he's sponsored by SSM, and yeah, he's riding Storm Brasco, but nevertheless, Aristotle, I'm of the opinion that was a flat second run after arrest. He's having his peak run, best weighted. If he just reproduces that penultimate start, he has to go very, very close to winning. But have a look at the filly. Now in the in the Derby next weekend, Olivia's weight is only getting 2.5 kgs from the boys. Yeah, Too Late My Mate's getting 6 kilograms from Aristotle. And I think that's a lot of weight. And she's a lovely, lovely filly, this. Calvin, the monkey's off his back. He had a winner at Turffontein on Thursday. 54. Third run after arrest. She is nowhere near the finished article. And I think she's going to pose a huge danger to the stable companion. I think Mr. Laird has got a strong, strong hand over here. And I'll go as far to say that exacta is worth a few rand.
Okay, so that is 1 and 8 boxed exacta, and that is the suggestion of the double as well. 1 and 8 by 4, 7 and 9. That is race number 7, a graduation plate over the 1600. Very competitive start to our last pick 3. I think I keep I'm sounding like a stuck record, but it is that kind of a card on a Saturday at Turffontein. A really, really nice card as part of our longer weekend. This is the middle stakes over the 2,000 meters, and we've got Total Surrender as the favorite at around 4.75. That is decimal odds, so that would be around 7 to 2ish. You're looking at number 6, Apache Sun, a co-favorite, in fact, with Total Surrender, and then Wafif, that is at 9 to 2. It is 5 to 1 and better bar those. Now, race number 8, it is a middle stakes, 2,000 meters. Renewal of rivalries between numbers 2, Flashy Apache, Star Coin, a 6, Apache Sun, and one of your co-favorites, or the other co-favorite, along with Apache Sun, Total Surrender.
Yeah, a wonderful lineup. This is some really nice horses in here.
Hard knockers, would you call them?
Yeah, hard knockers.
Yeah.
Hard knockers. I think the pace is going to be on. Birthright likes to push forward, make it genuine. You touched on their latest encounter behind King's Express. Now, on paper, you're probably going to be leaning towards Tyron Zaki's Apache Sun right down the inside with the blue cap. However, towards the outside is Total Surrender in the orange, and on his outside with the white sleeves and the red stripe on the cap is Star Coin. You can see not much separating them at the finish of there, a little bit of a blanker finish. That was on the inside track access. And I like the fact that it's switching to the outside, and coupled with that is Total Surrender gets a neater draw. So I think with Ryan Munger, stallgate number 1, that's already half the battle won, and he should really get a lovely running transit. So if things go his way, I'm going to say he's got a huge chance of reversing the form with Apache Sun. In that race was Star Coin, who fluffed his chances at the start. You can see he was as high as a 109. He's down to 93, and he's joint best in over here. So he's ready to strike some form now. Course and distance form is really good, so lovely swinger inclusion. And then I've also included number 9, Jordan. Mr. Terry has made it clear the son of Savannah has got ability, and you can see last time out with the chick pieces there was some sign of life. I like the fact that he's coming back down to 2,000 meters. Chase knows him, 52 to shoulder. That's the swinger box I've suggested, numbers 4, 7 and 9.
4, 7 and 9, and hopefully Jordan does continue to show that improvement. That merit rating is plummeting all the while, is now racing off an 85. And when you're looking at May, last year was off a merit rating of 91.